Sigiriya Rock Fortress, one of the most frequented historical structures in Sri Lanka, is regarded by Sri Lankans as the eighth wonder of the world due to its uniqueness and significance. It is situated in Sri Lanka's central province, in the Matale district, on the outskirts of Dambulla. King Kashyapa built Sigiriya Rock Fortress in the 5th century AD. It is a palace built on top of a Bible-shaped rock that is still regarded as a marvelous feat of ancient Sri Lankans. From the surrounding jungles, the rock climbs 600 feet straight up into the sky. Sigiriya Rock in Sri Lanka is one of the Asia's oldest remaining from an ancient urban structure. It is considered to be one of the world's most outstanding archaeological treasures. To prove it, in 1982 Sigiriya Lion Rock Fortress designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site as the ancient city of Sigiriya, Sri Lanka. According to ancient writings, the gigantic rock and its caves functioned as shelters for Buddhist monks as early as the 3rd century BC, before it became entangled in the political propagandas of the country. The Sigiriya Rock Sri Lanka rose to power and supremacy in the kingdom only in the 5th century AD, following the power struggle of King Datasena of Anuradhapura's 2 sons. The 2 boys were born from 2 separate wives of the king. When Kashyapa from a simple consort Moggallana was born to the principal queen. Kashyapa had rebelled after learning that the throne had been declared to Moggallana upon the king's death, driving Moggallana out of the land to seek safety in India and imprisoning King Datasena, his father, in order to find out the location of his treasure. It says when Kashyapa threatened his father with death if he did not reveal the whereabouts of his possession, Datasena escorted him to the famous Kalawa tank, which he had built, and indicated to its waters as his greatest treasure. According to legend, an enraged Kashyapa murdered his father by walling him up against his own tank. According to legend, the complete stronghold, with its unbreakable buildings, astonishing engineering and architectural accomplishments, as well as the murals and inscriptions, was built in only 7 years. Regardless of how impenetrable Sigiriya Rock Fortress was, it is supposed to have collapsed during Moggallana's invasion, culminating in King Kashyapa's suicide. Moggallana had promised to exact revenge on his brother after hearing of his father's death, and Kashyapa fled the capital, making the enormous Sigiriya Rock his sanctuary and pleasure palace, expecting Moggallana's coming attack with his army of Indian mercenaries. According to Mr. Lal Srinivas and Dr. Mirando Obasekera's latest Ramayana explorations, Sigiriya can be considered as a post-historic archaeology turning point for King Ravana. According to them, Sigiriya may be the Alakamandeva or City of the Gods, which was created before 50 centuries ago by King Kuvera, who was King Ravana's half-brother, as specified in the Ramayana Yatra Sri Lanka. According to the Ravana Watha, Ravana story, Palm Leaf Book, Puskala Potha, the architect of Sigiriya was Maya Daneva. He built Sigiriya following the directions of Ravana's father, King Visthuvasa, Vishravasa Muni. During that time, Sigiriya was known as Alakamandeva, and during King Kuvera's reign, it was known as Sithranakota. Following Ravana's death, Vibhishana ascended to the throne and relocated the kingdom to Kalania. The plateau top is believed to have been the location of Ravana's spectacular palace, built of solid gold by Kubera, the god of wealth, some 50 millennia ago. One look at the location reveals what an architectural accomplishment this place must have been. According to popular belief, one of these caverns is where King Ravana imprisoned Princess Sita after abducting her. Major Jonathan Forbes of the British Army discovered the summit of Sigiriya, which was covered in bush, in 1831, as he was on his way back from Polonnaruwa on horseback. Then Sigiriya drew the interest of antiquarians, and archaeologists learned about it. Despite the fact that the British found Sigiriya Rock Sri Lanka, the surveying and excavations were overseen by the Archaeological Commissioner of Ceylon at the time, Harry C. P. Bell. His discoveries at the end of the 19th century have served as the foundation for all subsequent research at the Sigiriya Rock Fortress. Further investigation and findings revealed a sculpted lion's head over the legs and paws guarding the entryway. However, the lion fortress's head collapsed a few years ago. Apart from it, the finds at Sigiriya included an old fortress built during the 5th century by King Kashyapa. The site also has upper palace ruins that have built on the flat rock summit. The archaeologists also discovered a lion gate and a mirror wall with frescoes on a mid-level terrace. The greatest attractions in Sigiriya Rock Fortress are the paintings that date back to the 5th century and are drawn on the rock. The paintings of semi-naked females dressed in colorful decorations and carrying flowers. The figurines are thought to represent apsaras, or celestial nymphs, which are prominent in Asian art. Some historians believe the paintings feature the ladies of the king's royal court. During ancient times, these murals were famous and were reported to attract travelers from all over the world, and individuals who came to view them had written poems and prose on their beauty on a polished rock wall known as the Mirror Wall of Sigiriya Rock, Sri Lanka. You will find a gradual incline after climbing the Sigiriya Rock past the steps of the rock garden. To get to the Lion Rock. To safely cross the incline, 5th century architects created a spectacular wall. It's built with bricks and plastered with lime mortar. The wall's highly polished surface is covered with an unique lime mortar. This is known as the Mirror Wall. The Mirror Wall is significant because Sigiriya poetry is written on it. Around 1,500 poems and names written by ancient travelers from the 6th to the 14th centuries are engraved in their own handwriting on the Mirror Wall and are still preserved today. It served as a silent reminder of the glory days of plastering technology. Furthermore, the Wall of Mirrors became an iconic symbol as a result of the obscene songs scrawled on it by tourists. The courtyard behind the Mirror Wall is approximately 7 feet wide. It is intended to be a staircase. People came from all over the country to see it after the Sigiriya kingdom fell. The hundreds of songs engraved on the Mirror Wall are proof of this. The feminine characters in the Sigiriya murals have been praised by the majority of these tourists. Sigiriya songs date from the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 13th centuries. The gardens of Sigiriya Rock Fortress are world-renowned and are among the oldest designed gardens in the world. The water gardens occupy the entire center part of the western side of the garden, and 3 water gardens ruins may be located here. The first water garden is designed to form an island in the center. This is a unique feature of ancient gardens, and this one is said to be the oldest seen in the world today. The second garden is known as the Fountain Garden because it contains some of the oldest water fountains in the world. When compared to the other 2, the third water garden is higher in height. The Boulder Garden is another amazing achievement that may be seen in Sigiriya. It is made up of several huge boulders connected by stone walkways and runs from the northern to the southern slopes of the rock at its base. Most of these rocks are supposed to have formerly housed a building or a pavilion, and the ruins of the King's Audience Hall may still be seen on the flattened surface of a massive boulder. The Lion Staircase is one of Sigiriya Rock Fortress's most beautiful features. The 2 massive paws and bricks that form an arch to the limestone staircase have been kept and are still gorgeous today. This is the entryway to the palace on top of the rock, and it is reported that in ancient times, the lion building here was full and majestic, with visitors having to walk through the gaping mouth of the giant stone lion to generate the water pressure for the water fountains. Sigiriya water technology used an underline pipe system, and as many water retention ponds as possible were built in the city complex beginning at the rock summit. Built this system from highland to lowland to achieve high water flow rates by utilizing kinetic energy. Even now, more water management technologies can be found there. There are 1270 steps to climb. It is a rather difficult climb. With the heat and humidity, it rises to an elevation of 349 meters, 1,144 feet, above sea level, while the surrounding plain is 180 meters, 600 feet, above sea level.